Okay, let's do some finishing touches on this. Maybe play around with some different options of what this could look like. Yeah, we've learned a lot of skills here, and actually I should have highlighted these, but we did the center fix with content, the padding. We didn't do the background colors and images yet, but we'll do those now. And then, oh yeah, publishing the page too, we should look into that. But in this video, let's just do some more with some of this box model, some background, some of the style stuff. So, first of all, let's get rid of that blue border. That's kind of throwing me off a little bit. That was right here, the body. We did the width and the margin auto to center it, and then the background color and the padding, right? The width and then the padding, margin auto to center. That looks good. Okay. Another option we could have done, and this is something we didn't talk about very much, was the idea of divs, divs and spans. So we actually threw a div into our HTML here when we created this, put the div, the HTML section, all the elements, the H2, the paragraph, the image, the other paragraph, the HR, all of that inside of that div. So if we go to our styles now, and I select the div and go border 1 pixel solid green, you should see that there's my div, right? It's a container for all of these other elements. So what's cool with divs is you can actually, kind of just like we did with the body, you can give it a width and padding, and instead of having, like, I kind of like the look of this body as a one solid thing, but I want to try to actually have each of these different sections in their own little kind of blocks, and I want to see what that looks like. Okay, so let's take our div and let's give it a width just like our body, a width of 600 pixels. Let's go margin auto. Let's give it a padding of 10 pixels and 100 pixels, just like our body, and a background color of white. And then I'm going to get rid of these styles on my body. And we're just going to have it on the div. And you'll see now that that effect that we had for the whole page, we now just have that effect for the Learn HTML section. Okay, that's kind of cool. Well, it doesn't look great now, but we'll get there. Okay, what we can do with stuff like this as well is, you know what, the border of green, why don't we have that border match this color that we were doing before? Where was that? That was the HTML. So I'm going to copy that. And, oh, I got the wrong. Copied too much. Let's just get the color. So that'll be my, where did I go? On the div right here, we'll replace that with that color. And maybe make it a little thicker, 2 pixels. Okay, so we can see that as our border that ties in nicely with the image. We can also do a border radius. And what that does is it gives the corners a curvature. So let's go 25 pixels. That might be a little high, but okay. So you can kind of imagine that if there was a radius of 25 pixels, it would curve that much. The smaller the number, the less curve. The larger the number, the more curve. Okay, so it kind of makes it this nice little block here. To add a little bit of depth, we could also do, I think it's called box shadow. And this we give 2 values, 2 pixels, let's say. So that's to the right and down. So 2 pixels to the right, 2 pixels down, and then we give it a color. And that just adds a little bit of a shadow, like a shadow underneath there. And maybe it would look cool. Well, see, this is where you can spend hours playing around with stuff. But maybe if we made it a touch lighter, like just a little bit of a lighter color. See, it even shows the comparison from your previous color to your new one. That might look kind of cool that it has the border and then it gets lighter. It doesn't make much difference. Okay, anyway. And then we can do that with all these other sections as well. So I could take my CSS section and let's put that inside of a div. So div like that, and I'm going to take the ending tag to go at the end here because I want the div, and remember I'm going to tab this just like we have our body and we tab everything inside of the body. I want my div as a container to tab everything inside of it so it's easy to see where it starts and where it ends. Okay, and then the JavaScript section will do the same thing, div, and let's end that div over here, and then tab the content. And now you'll see, okay, we got some fixing to do. First thing I want to do is we're going to need to space these out a little bit, right? I don't like that they're jammed right against each other. I want them kind of as their own little containers. So to do that, we use margin, right? Space between the borders. So my divs, I am going to have, okay, so we did margin auto, and that's for all directions, left, right, top, and bottom. But I only want auto to be left and right. So I'm going to go like 20 pixels top and bottom, and then auto left, right. So that should still center them, but now it forces them to have some space apart, and maybe even a little more than that. Let's go like 50 pixels. Okay, cool. All right, this is looking kind of neat. I actually don't like, oh, okay. Now what about these, the colors? This should have a blue border, this should have the yellow border, right? So let's go to, what did I have here? Oh, .js. Yeah, see, that doesn't totally work. But that's okay. I wanted to get rid of these colors anyway and have the color for the border, because I think this yellow doesn't look good. I'd rather just have it a dark title. So I'm actually going to get rid of all of these section headers. We'll save that. And then we don't need this anymore, that class, or that class, or that class. And if I was smart, I would have copied and pasted, because I want the divs to have classes. Because I want each div to have its own border. So right now, by selecting divs, that selects all divs and gives them this border. I want to be able to select each div individually. So I'm going to give this a class of HTML. This div, I'll give a class of CSS. And this div class equals JS. So now I'm going to get rid of this border. Everything else, ooh, and the box shadow I need to get rid of. But everything else can stay the same because I want all divs to have those common properties. But now the .html should have the border with that color and the box shadow of that color. And now you'll see, okay, everything looks good, but this is the only one with a border. And then I'm just going to copy and paste this and change this to .css and change the color, which I erased. Oh, I erased it. Okay, oh, that's so sad. Okay, undo. We'll just undo because that wasn't that much work. We can do that over again. That's what I needed. Okay, this RGB right here. Copy. I deleted too fast. So .css, we'll go border 2 pixels solid. That color. And then also the box shadow. And that'll be the same color as this one. Copy and paste. Okay, that's cool. And then let's do the .html again. And I'll just steal this. And steal this one. Okay, that's my HTML. And then we need the .js. Okay, and see now, there's a little red underline here. And a red underline here. It's giving me a clue that there's an error. Okay, awesome. And I'm just going to copy and paste this and make sure we get the right color. And that's for the JS. Right here, we'll use the hex code and the hex code for that yellow. Okay, and now I think I can safely delete these. And now we've got, cool, we've got the matching borders for the colors. Okay, this main title doesn't look very good. I think a simple fix on that one would be, where's my H1 right here? Let's go H1 and go color white and text align center. That looks better. It's a little cluttered, so I want to go letter spacing, 2 pixels. That's cool, and maybe a little bigger. Font size. I don't know what the default font size is. Let's search up H1. And I think if we go to, oh no, this isn't what I'm looking for. Let's try, there's, where do I go? Home, HTML reference. And I think there's all the different tags here. Oh, it just does the H1 to H6, eh? I thought they usually gave the default. Oh, here it is. Oh, but it's this EM size. We haven't talked about that yet. I think 32. This is basically twice the base font, and the base font is 16, I think. So this would be 32. So let's go 45 pixels, let's say. Web development skills. That's cool. Learn HTML, learn CSS, learn JavaScript. This is looking pretty good. These images look a little awkward. I want to try something. Let's take the HR and put it before this paragraph. Let's take the image and put it right inside of this paragraph, because images are inline elements. And let's change the size to 30 pixels. And the height to 30 pixels. And let's see what that looks like. Oh, I didn't do anything. Oh, what did I do wrong? Okay. Oh, because I'm looking at CSS section. I thought I did the HTML section. Okay, that's actually kind of like, this was kind of a big, I like this a little better. And you know what I can do? There's a something called vertical align. And this is, guys, all these styles, you just got to play around with them and see how to do them. And you know what? I'm going to do this with all of the images, so I actually don't even need this width and this height, because I want all the images to be the same. It's much easier to just do a, let's go down here, and I'll just make a comment, you know, image style. Just do the element selector, right? Select all images, and I'm going to make all images have a width of 30 pixels, a height of 30 pixels, and there's this wonderful vertical align, and I think middle is what I'm looking for. And that does the middle align. That's kind of cool. Now, the other ones aren't quite right. Why is that? Because I need to change the order, right? The HR goes up here, and the image goes at the beginning of here. We should do a little space, and I should delete the width and the height. Okay, this one should have a little space there too. Almost done here. Control X, Control V, Control X, put that into here. Get a space in there and delete the width and the height, because I'm doing the width and the height in the CSS. Okay, this looks pretty good. Web development skills, learn HTML, learn CSS, learn JavaScript, check out the JavaScript tutorial, CSS tutorial, HTML tutorial. Not bad for throwing something together. We still didn't do background images though. We'll do that in the next video. Okay. Probably one more video, hopefully, to wrap this one up. Hope that made sense. Maybe a little more padding, some final touches and stuff. Playing around with background images is fun too. But we're doing pretty good. Okay. Take care. See you next video.